Welcome everyone to the Euroformula Open Championship. We're back again, this time though for round 4 at Hungaroring. 4.381 kilometres in length, 17 laps await us with 30 minutes max of action. Quite a little bit of undulation here at this very circuit. We've come here before for various different occasions when the Euroformula has been racing through the course of a season, and always the results have been extraordinary. Once again, though, I think we could be in for some more surprises. The wet weather has certainly surprised us. It came back again not too long ago. But first and foremost, the highlights from Spa-Francorchamps. In race 1, Francesco Simonazzi got a great start. Brad Benavides going into second place. Further back, Levente Revesh in second. Jakob Bergmeister, though, would come into his own, trying to go side by side with the Hungarian, as we then saw further up, Brad Benavides taking the lead, heading through Les Combes. It would go Brad's way. He would take victory in the opening race at Spa. In race 2, it would be quite an action-packed start. Fernando Barrichello locking up, heading through towards La Source. Then on the trip, heading up the hill through Kemmel, up through towards Les Combes. On this occasion, Brad Benavides would keep the 23 in behind, belonging to Michael Shin. But it would go back again to Brad Benavides. He would make it 2 wins during the Spa weekend and lay claim to the trophy for the second time. As they then made their way around on race 3, it would be on this occasion the 39, this time of Gerard Z, who would lead the way heading out of turn 1. Further back, we also saw a little bit of action further back. Given the wet conditions, it caused a few issues for a certain number of the drivers, including this one, Levente Revesh, getting it wrong and unfortunately traipsing into the grass. It would, however, see once again this time Gerard Z taking victory for the first time in the Euroformula Open Championship. And this is how the Drivers' Championship looks this time. Brad Benavides, after 2 wins back-to-back, he's now 193 points to the good. 60 points clear of Francesco Simonazzi for BVM in second place. And the championship rumbles on again with fans in attendance. We'll be looking forward to yet another great weekend of racing. The car's now getting ready to line up onto the grid. Michael Shin starting on pole position. In fact, we can show you the rest of the starting grid now. Brad Benavides will join him on the front row. Fernando Barrichello on row 2, starting from 3rd. Francesco Simonazzi in 4th for BVM Racing. Levente Revesh starting in 5th. And Jakob Bergmeister starting from 6th on the grid. No doubt, keep your eyes peeled on him, especially after the performance we saw back at Spa. But your commentary team, my name being George Morgan, alongside me, Chris Stevens.
Yep, Michael Shin going from pole position for the first time in his Euroformula Open campaign. Let's see what happens when the lights go out.
Certainly will. All 6 lights now lit. They go out, and it's pedal to the metal. And it is go, 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 go. Great start for Michael Shin, but also for Brad Benavides, who gets pushed to the pit lane side as Shin tries to defend the lead as they make their way down towards turn 1. But Brad Benavides will have the inside as they creep through into the first corner. Who's going to have the run heading through towards turn 2? Brad will. Brad Benavides leads the way here at Hungaroring. Simonazzi around the outside as well. Coming in towards turn 2. Shin immediately trying to cut through to the outside. Barrichello with a run as they head out of turn 2 in towards turn 3. The blue car now going to come up against the car all dressed in red. Barrichello forced to forego any chance of laying claim to that second place and could yet be swallowed up by the cars behind.
They've got to be careful. There's still some damp patches around the circuit from the rain shower we had just a few minutes ago. Side by side for 3rd position as Levente Revesh tries to get up the inside of Fernando Barrichello into turn 5, but the Brazilian holds on but locks up going into turn number 6. He just about keeps it on the road. And Revesh having another look on the way into turn number 8. Still no way through. Simonazzi looked like he had a run there, but no way through. So it's Benavides leading, pulling clear of Michael Shin by 3/4 of a second. The pole sitter is chasing the Floridian. Off the road goes Simonazzi, and now young Jakob Bergmeister finds his way through, and Simonazzi suddenly is down at the back of the field.
Certainly is. He's at the tail end. Jakob Bergmeister getting the run on him, but Simonazzi immediately trying to come back as they head through turn 13. Bergmeister able to keep him at bay for now as they traipse through the final corner of turn 14, so it's the BVM car at the back. Brad Benavides, though, consolidating his lead up at the front. It's starting to extend here at the end of the opening lap as they begin the next one now. Further back, Michael Shin in second. Barrichello doing a great job holding on to 3rd place despite the lockup heading out of turn 6 through turn 7. Still has Levente Revesh hovering all over his back. The Hungarian in his home race here this weekend. looking to try and give something, at least to himself. Obviously, he hasn't had it easy this season, still chasing grandiose successes, and was, well, in with the hope of achieving something back at Spa, but things didn't quite go to plan. We did see him spin during our highlight reel earlier on at the top of the programme, making his way around during the wet, or the deluge that we had for race 3 on that occasion. Now, we've had deluges today. You never know, could yet be a factor before the end of the race.
I was saying, this morning was just such different conditions to what we're racing in now, and of course that meant they've all saved a set of slick tyres, so all of these drivers are going to be running on fresh tyres for every one of these races, all 3 of them, the 2 reverse grid races coming up tomorrow. Normally you'd have to try and mix and match the sets, so you'd say, oh, we'll run new tyres on the one side of the car, the one that is less used in terms of the G-forces, as Revesh tries to get up the inside of Barrichello into turn number 12. This is for 3rd position, but Barrichello standing his ground here on the inside of the penultimate corner, and Revesh for the 2nd lap in a row finds himself looking at the marbles in the escape road at that penultimate corner there.
Yeah, got very tight between the pair as they made their way around the final corner, but Barrichello with enough, but Revesh is going to come straight back at him as he looks to open up the door, heading down the long straight. Bergmeister watching all this happen in behind, just trying to get in some slipstream off the back of Levente Revesh. Barrichello finding enough of his car up the inside, but on the escape coming out of turn 1, Revesh will utilise the should we say the switchback before then venturing in towards turn 2. They're going to run wheel to wheel, heading through the next step. Barrichello will have the Tiger line down the inside, tries to force Revesh a little wider as they come through to open the door for Jakob Bergmeister, who's now joined this fight as they come out of turn 3 and now rise up through towards turn 4. Stern defence by Barrichello.
Yeah, absolutely is. This is most elbows out we've seen young FIFO all season long. It's keeping Revesh, Bergmeister and Simonazzi at bay for now. Unsurprisingly, Benavides at the front of the field doing the fastest lap of the race, at 37.4. He's 2.3 seconds clear of Michael Shin now. But the rest of the field squabbling. Oh, Michael Shin getting it very crossed up there, and FIFO himself running a little bit wide the exit of turn number 9. I wonder, is it just starting to spit again out there? Can't see anything on the camera. As again, Revesh to the inside at turn 12. This time gets it done much more easily. And so that's Levente Revesh in his home race up into 3rd position. Yeah,
on the podium now, which would, I'm sure, mean a lot to him as they head through and towards turn 14. They'll then take the next lap. Brad Benavides now comfortably ahead. Let's take a look at the replay. Just got a better run heading down towards turn 11, didn't he? Managed to cut through to the inside, coming through towards turn 12, and managed to make the move happen. And now this time it's the turn of Jakob Bergmeister to try and rub shoulders with Fernando Barrichello, heading in towards turn 1. Barrichello looked to attempt the switchback, just could not quite pursue after it, and Bergmeister easily and smoothly moves up into 4th.
Oh. Another look up there for FIFO. He runs wide, and Simonazzi, that's an open door for the Italian. He goes through into 5th.
Yeah, nice, easy, smooth move for the BVM car. There's Giuseppe Mazzotti watching on. Seemed in good spirits when I saw him in the paddock yesterday walking back. And I must say, I must praise he and his team for their perseverance in this championship as well. They have been such gallant representatives, and Simonazzi, he's spoken volumes about how he loves this car, the Dallara 320 chassis, and it's illustrated in the way that he drives it too. Just likes to get the tail flicked out, and he's just typically an Italian that loves to race and races with passion, that's for sure. Let's see though if he can topple down Jakob Bergmeister and try and claw his way through the field as they now venture through towards the next right-hander at turn 12 and in towards turn 13. Bergmeister coming off the back of a mightily successful Spa weekend that seemingly has delivered him bountiful amounts of confidence, and despite qualifying not necessarily going right today, I'm sure he'll have his eyes set on the next 2 races.
See Michael Shin there, 23 in 2nd position. The 19-year-old from South Korea is combining his Euroformula campaign with the Euro Cup 3 campaign as well there. Most of these cars are run by Motorpark, but the white wing-tipped car is Michael Shin. The red is Levente Ravesh, and then the black, therefore, Jakob Bergmeister, who's got bright blue helmet as well, which makes him quite easy to spot. And then Francesco Simonazzi running the traditional BVM racing colours, so it's easy to spot in this field of black and red. Sounds like a roulette table.
Yeah, somewhat is, yeah, absolutely. Who is going to find red here at this point? There's quite a lot of them, obviously out there right now, donning that red livery that has been prominent on the motorpark cars over the last couple of seasons, as they now head in towards the next left and right, the sequence, the flowing corners that takes you through the Sector 2 portion of this truly tricky and technical track. It gets very flat at this portion, but obviously you need to be considerate of the elevation change through the first sector when things start to get a little harum-scarum. But they'll now rise uphill as they venture through the hairpin corner at turn 13. And it's around turn 14 to begin yet another lap. Still consolidating the lead at the front, Brad Benavides holding his own, 3.3 in the clear. Levente Ravesh 6.7 away from those leaders at this stage. Still trying to be gained upon by Jakob Bergmeister, but he has got over 1.1 to find.
Tear off strip going there for Francesco Simonazzi. Obviously, probably car in front is kicking up maybe a couple of stones or some dirt from the track in front of him. 12 laps to go. See Simonazzi very smooth on the wheel there through turn 2. Almost like he's pushing a spoon through treacle and chasing Jakob Bergmeister. Bergmeister being a fourth generation racer, still in his second year of car racing, and finding improvements on improvements. One thing we didn't see in that highlights, oh, hello. That's probably Michael Shin, who's kicked up quite a bit of dirt there on the exit of turn number 7.
There he is.
Well, there he is, he's still there. So possibly just a wide moment there for Shin. But what I was going to say was that, a moment that we didn't see in the highlights reel was Jakob Bergmeister getting very brave into Les Combes last time.
Overtaking the season.
4 wide. 4 wide down into the chicane.
Yeah, the German shifter car champion, I think, from my personal standpoint, definitely move of the season, I think, that we've seen so far this campaign.
Yeah.
You know, credit to him as well, because he's had his challenges. He didn't have an easy year last year, and even he would tell you that. And coming into this season, it just seems that he's upped his levels a little bit. Didn't have the easiest first round back at Portimao, but things have since kicked on. And, you know, Spa definitely was a very important round for him. You know, coming second twice in succession. And then on top of that now, he's got a chance, certainly given the fact that he's starting from pole, for our, you know, reverse qualifying race later on. And then obviously we've got to fathom the reverse race that we got coming up later on too, which should it stay like this means that Fernando Barrichello will be starting on pole position with Simonazzi alongside him as they climb up the hill towards turn 4. But Simonazzi has bigger plans because he's hunting down Jakob Bergmeister. There's our race leader, who's been quietly pottering along out at the front. Brad Benavides all on his own at this stage, who has amassed a huge amount of appearances in various championships through the course of his career. Of course, harking back to his appearances in Formula 2 back in 2023, and that same season competing in the Formula Regional Middle Eastern Championship. Prior to that in FIA Formula 3 in 2022 and Formula Regional European Championship on Alpine back in 2021, but has also been part of the EFO. Last time racing in the Euroformula Open Championship was back in 2018, so quite a divisive number of years in between that. So 2018 he joined this championship, 2024 he returns.
Yeah, that was the start of his career for Brad Benavides, wasn't it? Where it all began. Of course, raced up to the Formula 2 level last year, now back in the Euroformula Open Championship, and now leading this race by 4.6 seconds to our pole sitter Michael Shin, who has been developing himself as a driver in many shapes and forms. Of course, it's getting to experience the Dallara chassis and car with real downforce and a proper light Formula 3 level machine as well. You know, flinging a car that weighs 575 kilograms around a circuit like this with good downforce, good tyres. That's why the drivers love this championship so much. It's all about the car. And of course, he'll utilise that experience as well in the Euro Cup 3 championship as well. And that's, you know, the car itself is why many fantastic drivers come up through the ranks. Whoa, that is a big dive from Simonazzi there, wasn't it?
Well, this is the type of thing he loves to do, loves to find the chinks in the armour, and I must say, there was a huge opportunity, certainly showing for the BVM racing driver as they head down in towards turn 12. Again, this time around, Bergmeister might be sweating a little bit this time after that one, getting a little bit up close and personal, heading out of the chicane at turn 7 and 6 and through turns 8 and 9 where it all happened. And now coming through turn 14, just goes to show Simonazzi is not afraid of making these manoeuvres happen. Knows that in order to escalate his placing from where he is, which is at this stage P5, you'll need to pull every trick in the book. And Bergmeister, a little look in the mirrors just to see where Simonazzi is currently situated. Still remains behind you there, Jakob, as they head through turn 1. But Bergmeister doing well to marginalise the gap.
So what I was going to say, before I was rudely interrupted by Simonazzi attempting an overtake, was that we were talking about the calibre of driver who've come up through the championship. Should we give a shout out to Vladislav Lomko?
Yes, I think we should. Do you know what? I was actually delighted for him. I dropped him a message actually off the back of it. Of course, Vlad Lomko was trying to chase Goethe down for the 2022 championship.
Yes.
Back then, was rookie champion though. But
yes, he was. But just finished second in LMP2 at the Le Mans 24 hours fit into Europol. So, well done, Vladislav. That's quite an achievement.
He's not the only one who's had grand achievements outside, I think, of the single-seater space. Because you look back at some of the others, even you look at, I think, Sebastian Ogard, who has raced for Prema.
Yeah.
And not only that, the many others. Nico Pino, of course, now racing in it, and also you can take a look at the various others that have taken part in the history of it.
Ben Viscal as well. He's done a fair bit of prototype racing, is he not? Just off the top of my head. And Nicholas Cruton. As well, he drives for Cool Racing, doesn't he, now in LMP2 he's just moved up to, isn't he? He was very quick in LMP3, I remember, a few years ago when he arrived on the prototype scene. Of course, Yifei Ye as well. Probably one of the fastest cars out of Le Mans this year. Simonazzi has another dive up the inside. Coming up at the halfway point in this race, still Simonazzi is looking at the back of Bergmeister's car for 4th position. Another dive up the inside, it locks up though, and tags the back of the motor park car. Luckily, they both got away with it, but there is some damage there on the front wing of Simonazzi. That's going to cost him performance. You've got to hope as well that that's not going to shred into the tyre. Yeah,
that end plate flapping around on the front right there. You can see it stripped away after that contact between he and Jakob Bergmeister. So Simonazzi could yet be, well, he might lose a little bit of performance off the back of that, and we'll wait and see. It seems to have gone back into position, relative position, to a point.
Well, it's wobbling about a fair bit, isn't it?
Extraordinary. Just goes to show not every side of those moves work out. And Fernando Barrichello's got an opportunity now to potentially land a blow back to Francesco. Another driver I wanted to speak about, Alejandro Garcia as well, who also was part of the European Le Mans team that won last year with Marcos Seber. But this is the moment. Getting onto the curb on the inside, very treacherous coming through turn 2. And I would say that was the catalyst more than anything else. Just got too tight to that inside.
That was it, yeah, just the lock-up really, wasn't it? That, he's having to come in, he's having to box for a new nose. Well, that's reverse grid pole for tomorrow, isn't it?
I would say so. Yeah, absolutely. There's one thing you can celebrate about, coming into the pitch at this point. I've got reverse grid pole for the reverse race.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a weight off Bergmeister's shoulders as well.
Yeah, I mean, not everything's sure in life, but that is right now. Yeah, incredible. I got to give credit to Alejandro Garcia. I mean, winning the ELMS championship with Marcos Seber And again, another driver that's come from the Euroformula Open world that is now successful in, should we say, Le Mans prototypes. And
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
If you do want to look at the single-seater racing sort of ladder, especially... Oh, no, wait, hang on. We were talking about Yifei, weren't we? Before Simonazzi rudely interrupted us again by attempting another overtake. Going to have a word with him about this. Yeah, it was arguably the faster car at Le Mans, wasn't it? Before the... Was it the brake-by-wire system sort of really rather backfired on the car and sort of set it alight with Robert Kubica, I think, was driving at the time as well. Yeah, and I think that's double disappointment for Yifei, actually, because he was driving when he was driving the Jota Porsche the year before and crashed it while leading. Actually, felt very bad for him at that point. Yeah, now a Ferrari hypercar driver is Yifei, and they've actually sort of made their intentions quite clear about the future of the hypercar program with their sort of extra car that they've got, and Yifei is definitely a part of it. And of course, he was the champion in this series in 2020. But if you do want to look at some of the single-seater stars that have come out of it, because a lot of them have made it into the Formula One feeder series. Of course, the next step beyond this for everyone is to go into the Formula 3 Championship. And you look at, like, most of the field went into FIA F3 from last year. Noel Leon, who was our champion, Kean Shields, Charlie Wirtz, Josh Dufek, Josh Mason ended up in F2 for a little bit as well.
We can also congratulate Christian Mansell on taking pole in F3 yesterday at Barcelona. So credit to him for that, because that is a huge result. His reaction on the team radio was stellar. Of course, he was also part of the 2022 Championship conglomerate that were trying to battle against Oliver Goethe. Of course, Goethe doing enough to withstand the place. And Goethe, incidentally, also a race winner historically in F3. Won at Silverstone. That was his first win in the Formula 3 Championship.
What was the was it race at Imola this year where the whole podium was Euroformula?
Yes, it was. And I think, well, Goethe was definitely one of them. Noel Leon was on there too.
Yes. Hang on, I'm just having a look at the Indy NXT Championship as well, because we have Bryce Aaron in there as well, and he scored a few points in there so far this year. Typically a very tough championship there, but his first points of the season in Alabama a few weeks ago. So, it's not just success for Bryce in America. Of course, Alex Palou.
Yep.
Two-time IndyCar champion. Colton Herta. There you go. So, I mean, we're leaving out the F1 reserve drivers.
Felipe Drugovich.
So other prototype drivers as well, because he's now in that scene as well now as Felipe.
Also Aston Martin reserve for so long.
F2 champion.
Also the record holder in the Euroformula Open for the most wins in a season.
Yes, he is. He's got some ridiculous stats behind him, isn't he?
Yeah, I believe it's 17 is the record that Felipe Drugovich held on to after concluding the 2018 championship.
Yeah, hang on.
Though I tell a lie, 14.
14 in 2018. But actually, Ollie Goethe took all the other ones away from him for podiums and points.
There was conversations that Goethe could have potentially broken Drugovich's record, though that would be very tough to do because you'd have to have a near-perfect season to achieve that.
Yeah.
But credit to Felipe Drugovich, who was, by far one of the big talents coming out of 2018. Marino Sato went on into the Formula One feeder series as well, of course representing Team Motorpark back in 2019. And would go on to win the championship.
Also in prototypes now, isn't he?
I believe so, yeah.
Off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he is.
And Leonardo Polcini, who is, of course, the 2022 International GT Open champion, who was also champion of the 2016 Euroformula Open Series.
Factory driver.
Yeah, with Lamborghini. So incredible. Many drivers going on to successes. We talk about Liam Lawson as well, someone who has had success over in Japan and has since raced in Formula One for the AlphaTauri now RB team in Formula One.
Should be in the race.
Many say that he should have a main seat drive, and I must say it's difficult to dispute that given how talented he truly is. 4 wins he amassed during his rookie season back in 2019. He went on to become rookie champion after taking 2 poles through that campaign, 7 podiums in total. And yeah, has really shown and grown into single-seater racing, and no doubt there's going to be success just around the corner. A slight lock-up there from Levente Ravesh coming through turn 6 and 7. Still consolidating 3rd place. The gap, though, between he and Jakob Bergmeister stretching to 4.8. And now it's 5 seconds as they cross the transponder.
Yeah, between 3rd and 4th. Benavides leading by 7.2 now, with just 3 and a bit laps left to go in this race. It's Levente Ravesh here, racing on home soil. Not from specifically Budapest. I think it's from a couple of hundred kilometers down the road. But well, up until recently, this was really your only option for big circuits in Hungary. But of course, Balaton Park recently opened as well. But I don't think Levente has ever raced there actually. But I'm sure he's raced here aplenty as well. And I was having a conversation with him earlier about, you know, sort of the karting scene as well. He did sort of 1 year of a Hungarian championship, but there's not a lot of options here for, you know, as popular as motorsport seems to be, judging by the passion of the fans that are here and the sheer number that come out in force as well, who give us lovely bracelet gifts as well. So thank you again to the girls in the paddock who have adorned our wrists with lovely accessories. Not a lot of actual, you know, racing scene here, but I think they're starting to develop that as well. But yeah, the Balaton Park opening as well, so they can do a bit more of that, because they love their racing here, that's for sure.
They certainly do. We've had them come across far and wide across the last few years, and of course this track does still play host to the Hungarian Grand Prix, as it has done for quite some time. And no doubt we'll see many more in the near future. Brad Benavides still very much in control. This is a slow-mo replay of Jakob Bergmeister coming through the chicane at turn 6 and 7. And still trying to close up to Levente Ravesh, but that time gap only shows signs of expanding, given the fact that he's now lost another 2/10 off the back of the Hungarian. But Simonazzi now back out on track, but lapped essentially ahead of Brad Benavides. No, he's taken that back. So he's unlapped himself, well, semi-successfully, because back comes Benavides. They're going to scrap out on track, heading down through towards turn 2.
Side by side into turn 2.
Yeah, it was
Simonazzi ahead.
He is ahead. He's in control. He's managed to get himself out of the lapped fray and now climbs the hill towards turn 4. But it's been dominant here from Benavides.
He certainly has. I really thought Michael Shin would be able to give Brad a bit more of a run for his money, but yeah, just not quite as good a start as the Floridian. I do wonder if there's, you know, slight difference in grip between the two sides because of that rain shower we had. But if there is, then you'd think it would favour the left-hand side of the grid, because that's where the racing line is. So, yeah, just a good start from Benavides. Hasn't looked back since.
No, he certainly hasn't. And this is the form that has continued to precede him as time has gone on through this season. Has already enlisted 4 wins this campaign in total. Quite a number of podiums, because he's finished second on 3 occasions and also has taken 1/3. So in total, 8 podiums through the course of this championship, which is no mean feat.
Yeah, there's only one race he hasn't been on the podium, wasn't there? That was
true.
Race 3 at Hockenheim.
Yeah, but certainly looks like he's got a good grasp on this championship. It would mean a lot, certainly, after he came out and said that he was delighted to have taken his first ever single-seater race win when we look back at Portimao. And now looks to be in a good position to launch a charge after the title. And in terms of points and the way they stand coming into this round, as we hear a big squeal further back, not quite sure
from Simonazzi, I'd have thought.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's Simonazzi. But the gap now between P1 and P2 coming into this round, incidentally, that is between Benavides and Simonazzi. It's at 60 points, and it looks like it's going to close up massively come the end of this race. Or shall I say stretch out come the end of this race.
Well, yeah, between 1st and 6th. seconds. So, yeah, it's going to be quite a nice lead for Benavides at the end of this lap when he meets the checkered flag in just half a lap's time. There is Michael Shin. Gap has sort of stabilised, and Michael's sort of starting to find his feet a little bit, which does bode rather well for races 2 and 3. But of course, remember, we're not going to see any difference in the tyre ages because everyone ran wets in the qualifying, and so it's very even Stevens out there in terms of the strategic options that are available to them.
Yeah, Brad Benavides, so making his way around the final 2 corners on this final lap. He'll head out of turn 13 through to turn 14 for the final time here on Saturday, here in race 1 in the Euroformula Open Championship. He's had 4 wins. He's going to make it 5 here at Hungaroring. It's Brad Benavides who takes victory here in this series. Once again in the Euroformula Open, Michael Shin comes home in 2nd place with Levente Ravesh in 3rd in his home weekend at Hungaroring. Jakob Bergmeister will head into 4th. Fernando Barrichello comes across the line in 5th, or should I say up to 4th. Jakob Bergmeister dropped down to 5th in accordance to our timing tower. With Francesco Sibinazzi coming home in 6th.
Yeah, pretty close between Barrichello and Bergmeister in the end, just 4/10 of a second. But yeah, you see that that last lap time for Bergmeister, a 43.4 compared to a 39 flat for Barrichello. So some sort of issue for Bergmeister there on that
closing stage.
Last lap has cost him 4th position, but does put him on the front row for tomorrow's race 2.
It does. Bergmeister with a great chance and an opportunity. Francesco Sibinazzi also having opportunity alike, and it's going to be a tough couple of races for Michael Shin and Brad Benavides because of course they'll be starting from the back, but it's not necessarily new ground for Brad Benavides. He would have had to deal with that on quite a number of occasions given the fact that he has taken race wins right through the course of this championship.
But this is probably the hardest one to do it on that we go to because you can overtake everywhere else. Paul Ricard, Red Bull Ring, Barcelona, and Monza we still have to run. So of everywhere we go to this year, this is definitely the hardest track that it's going to be to overtake on. So Brad's still got his work cut out for him tomorrow.
Certainly does, but he is our winner of race 1 here in the Euroformula Open, round 4 at Hungaroring, 6.3 seconds clear of Michael Shin, who comes across the line in 2nd. Levente Ravesh in 3rd in his home race, Fernando Barrichello in 4th, Jakob Bergmeister in 5th, Francesco Sibinazzi running off the grid in 6th place. In terms of the championship, this is how it looks. Remember, it was 30 coming into this weekend. It's now stretched out to 78 points, the gap between Benavides and Sibinazzi. Jakob Bergmeister in 3rd, Levente Ravesh in 4th, Michael Shin in 5th, Fernando Barrichello in 6th, Lorenzo Flusha 7th, Gerard Z in 8th, Paolo Brajnik in 9th. So the cars will now come into Parc Ferme, and like I said, win number 5 for Brad Benavides. A stranglehold on the championship now that doesn't show any signs of slipping away, and you've got to tout him as a comfortable favourite for this season's title. The Floridian will be looking to try and close out the rest of his weekend with race 2 and race 3 still to come. Revs the engine on the way in, parks the car behind the number 1, and no doubt delighted. It was rudimentary, really, I suppose, at this point.
I was about to say my dear Watson, but that's elementary, isn't it?
Elementary. No, elementary would be the better word.
In some ways it was elementary, wasn't it, my dear Watson? Yeah, a fantastic drive again from Brad Benavides. Just sort of, like, patting the car on the back there. Like, yeah, you did a good job.
Fabulous effort indeed. Celebrates with the rest of the team. Motorpark have done a stellar job with their Euroformula cars in the past, and it's Michael Shin who will be standing tall on the 2nd step of the podium with Levente Ravesh in 3rd. There he is now, the Hungarian, and with the colours of his beloved home nation represented to the full on his helmet. He'll be, I'm sure, delighted with what he's managed to achieve, though I'm sure through the course of the weekend he would love to taste a victory at his home track.
Oh, I'm sure he would. Yeah. Quick weigh in there for Brad. Of course, Ravesh will be starting from 4th for tomorrow's race 2. But on the front row for race 3. He's qualified in 5th, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah, front row for him tomorrow. 4th tomorrow afternoon.
Well, let's take you through the top 3, folks. Levente Revesh finishing in 3rd place. The Hungarian scoring some decent points to get this Euroformula round at Hungaroring underway. Michael Shin coming across the line in 2nd. The Korean doing a fabulous job. We'll be hoping to go somewhere better come the 2nd and 3rd race. And then Brad Benavides, your victor here in the Euroformula Open at Hungary. And he's standing by with Alfredo Filipponi.
Brad Benavides, winner at the Hungaroring race 1. How was it after the rain this morning?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the victory. Obviously, it wasn't as nice as I would have wanted it to because I was obviously not starting P1. I was just alongside him. But at the end of the day, apparently in this championship, it never goes as seamlessly as one may expect because, I mean, this is for 4th round, and 3 out of 4 rounds we've had rain. Literally just before the start of the qualifying, and like mega basically like drying conditions towards the end, and you can never like predict it. So yeah, but anyways, you know, we always have these circumstances and factors to consider, and it's the same for everybody. So at least now I was able to climb the top step of the podium and happy for it.
And it looks good for the championship.
Yeah, obviously that's the main point. This track is really tricky to overtake, so tomorrow and basically the whole day of tomorrow with the 2 races ahead of us is going to be tricky, starting from basically last, 6th in both races. But yeah, we'll try our best to climb as many positions as we can, and yeah, look forward to it.
Y Brad, algunas palabras en español porque tienes muchos seguidores hispanos, evidentemente.
Sí, nada, muchísimas gracias los que estáis siguiendo el campeonato. Sé que no es un campeonato increíblemente emocionante porque somos 6 pilotos, pero bueno, igual, o bueno, en alguna otra carrera somos 8, lo que sea, pero lo importante y lo interesante es que la pelea adelante, pues a veces, bueno, la gran mayoría de veces son muy entretenedoras, así que nada, muchas gracias por igual verlas y apoyar.
Thank you. All the best.
Well, success for Brad Benavides. Let's see how he did it after, closing race 1 as they got underway. Great start indeed for Benavides. Michael Shin having to try and box him off, but was unsuccessful on the run down through towards turn 1. Francesco Simonazzi coming toe-to-toe with Fernando Barrichello as well. Levente Revesh would also take the long way round coming through the first corner. Was unable to get past Barrichello at that point, but would eventually do so coming through out of turn 12 on the run towards turn 13. Again, though, it would be Jakob Bergmeister's turn to dispatch the Brazilian, who would then drop down to 5th place, and Simonazzi would then run wheel to wheel with him heading through out of turn 2 and towards turn 3. Brad Benavides, though, was in cool, calm and collected, in a cool, calm and collected mood. Certainly the fashion of his driving through the course of that race was clear and concise. He was on his own through the latter stage of that race. Francesco Simonazzi breaking the front end plate on his rear wing after contact. But it would be Brad Benavides who would take victory here at Hungaroring, once again adding to his list.
And who knew Brad Benavides could speak Spanish?
Man of many talents,
yeah,
I must say. So there we have it. We're now going to see them standing tall on the podium. Levente Revesh in 3rd, and his home race weekend. Then we have Michael Shin in 2nd, and our race victor, Brad Benavides, on the top step of the podium for Team Motorpark. And a trend that seems to be continuing. And of course, we have the team representative from Motorpark team alike. Fernando Barrichello will stand on the rookie podium, and we have now the national anthem. Well, it looks like Brad Benavides is absolutely delighted with that, blowing a kiss to his beloved team. just waiting in the wings as he accepts his trophy. Jesus Pereira, the CEO of the Euroformula Open Championship and the GT Sport organisation, here presenting the trophies to the drivers. Levente Ravesh receiving the 3rd place trophy. And next up we will have the 2nd place driver, Michael Shin, also receiving his trophy.
4th podium for Michael in the 7 races he's done in the championship so far. Promising young talent there with Michael Shin, but it is for the 5th time this season Brad Benavides on the top step. But, quite a bit of work to do tomorrow from 6th, I'd have thought, as the motorpark representative collects the winner's trophy as well. But yeah, we've seen him come through the pack in the previous rounds, but this is going to be his biggest challenge yet, I'd have thought.
Yeah, Fernando Barrichello receiving the rookie trophy on this occasion. He'll then pose for a photo, but a fantastic drive from Brad Benavides, consolidating his lead in the championship. That's the first chapter closed through the Hungaroring weekend. 2 more to go, and you can join us for them. Please join us for the reverse races tomorrow afternoon. We'll see you then. Goodbye.